Good evening, my dear students, my dear thinkers. This is your science friend, your mentor. Okay, today evening on this 25th of April 2024, I'm innovating a new sensor system for my sump, the water sump. So, the problem what I'm facing every day, so when my mother switches on the motor, what's happening is the water level go down and then air enters into the sump motor. That's it. Motor is finding difficulty. Okay. So how do I avoid that situation? Because I wanted to make sure my motor is switched off. I wanted to make sure the motor is switched off as soon as the water goes down below the safe level to my motor. That's why I have tinkered a new idea. Okay, so what I'm doing, this is a sensor, this is a float sensor. Okay, so this particular float sensor, it floats. There is a float here, it floats in the water, it floats. So I'm taking the benefit of this float sensor and I'm tinkering, I've used this particular cap and I'm inserting this way. You see the integration what I have thought, the way I am keeping them. So this is a coupler for this pipe. Okay, likewise we are putting like this, and then we also made one hole for this sensor. So what happens, whenever the water goes down below this hole, that's it, the sensor is activated. Okay, so once the sensor output comes from this internally installed sensor, what I have tinkered, in this way, I'm going to stick it. Okay, that's where I will use an adhesive. I will make waterproof. Okay, water will only go and handle this particular float area, not the connections area anymore. Okay, that's where it's going to be waterproof activity. So why I'm using two float sensors, very interestingly. One is to give us an alarm so that we'll stop the motor. Other is, because sump has got two limits. One is low limit, one is upper limit. We need to know the sump is full, that we can switch on the motor. The other is sump is getting empty, so we must switch off the motor. So to connect this system through an Arduino programming, so that I can make it on off automatically, or through my cell phone control to keep the motor on to pump up the water from my sump to my overhead tank. Or if I select an auto mode, in that case automatically the moment the sump is full, the motor will switch on and start pumping water into overhead tank. Okay, in similar to that, whenever the water go down below the safe limit for my motor, at that time the motor must be switched off. This is two conditions. These are two conditions that I am going to set up through this electrical and then electronics and then programming through Arduino board. Okay, in three different levels I wanted to make this and then prepare my mentees to understand all this basic level to electrical level to electronic level to programming level. So in the programming area, I can also include, if the overhead tank also is full, then also the motor must stop. So there are two conditions. Whenever the sump is empty, going to be empty, before the safe condition, that motor must go off. At the same time, whenever the overhead tank is full, at the time also the motor must go off. So all these things are going to be controlled through our programming. That's why, being regional mentor of change for Atal Innovation Mission, we suggest you guys to understand the sensors and then tinker the sensors through programming using Arduino boards and all. So ATL is the right place for all of you to learn all this kind of tinkering. Okay. So I will help you guys to understand the basics. I will myself will tinker and make you inspired, and then you yourself will, with your own self inspiration, you'll start tinkering. So happy tinkering. Keep innovating. Bye bye. Take care. Signing off, your science friend Srinivas from scientificstudents.com.